our doubleheader, Mike Bulls will try to eliminate the Milwaukee Bucks. Then it's out to Denver, where Rookie of the Year David Robinson and the San Antonio Spurs are one win away from heading to the second round. Bulls, Bucks, Spurs, Nuggets, next. It's hard to be unhappy in Chicago when Michael Jordan and company show off their version of the running of the Bulls, and they have run their way to a 2-0 lead in the first round of the playoffs. Milwaukee has been frustrated in their efforts to buck the system like they did a year ago. They have even tried to ground Air Jordan. He was dazed but unfazed. After all, this is Michael Jordan, and these are the NBA playoffs. Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal. Welcome to the Bradley Center in Milwaukee as the 1990 NBA playoffs continue. Eastern Conference, round 1, game 3. Chicago hopes to go for a sweep in the series. The Chicago Bulls have dominated the Bucks, winning 19 of the last 21 times they played. 9 of the last 11 times the two teams have matched up here. Milwaukee did win the first game they played this year here at Bradley Center. But in game 1 of the playoff series, it was Chicago winning because of the front line scoring. That was Grant, Pippen, Cartwright et al. And the offensive rebounding, 14-5. The Bucks even got those 5 late in the ball game. In game 2, it was the Jordan and Pippen show, combining for 68 points, and it was just too much for the Milwaukee Bucks, despite the fact the Bucks are shooting over 50%. So it's 2-0 Chicago. A couple of years ago, Milwaukee was down 2-0 in the first round of the playoffs. 1-2 at home, stretched it to 5 games. Could that happen here?
Bob, it's possible. Anything in the NBA is possible. Not highly probable. Right now, the Milwaukee Bucks are a banged-up team. Jay Humphries not going to play tonight. That will hurt them dearly. That means Paul Pressey has to come into the starting lineup, and that's going to change the rotation for Del Harris. And anytime that happens to a ball club, Bob, it's very difficult to get the same kind of continuity that you've been accustomed to.
Usually, I'm asking you how the opponent is going to stop Michael Jordan. That's always tough. How's Milwaukee going to stop Scottie Pippen?
Well, it's going to be a tough task indeed, and it's going to be Fred Roberts who's going to have the job of trying to guard him and not let him get off to a flying start. But even a more important problem, I think, for the Milwaukee Bucks is their inability to be able to handle the pressure that the Bulls have put on them. Bob, they turned the ball over far too frequently, giving the Bulls a lot of extra opportunities. They can't do that and expect to win tonight.
Milwaukee assistant Matt Calvin guaranteed me a Milwaukee victory here at Bradley Center tonight. I told him he was out on a limb, and he says, we are out on the limb. After these commercial messages, we'll be back here to Milwaukee for the Six-Man Award.
The 1990 NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the NBA. When it's Miller Lite, less filling really tastes great. By Acura Legend and Integra, precision-crafted performance exclusively at your Acura dealer. And by The Pump by Reebok. Pump it up.
Bob Neal and Rick Barry with you from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Bulls leading this series 2-0. And it's time for the NBA awards. The Sixth Man of the Year award has been announced by the NBA, and he got my vote. I was one of the voters. He is Ricky Pierce, number 22. He led all non-starters in scoring in the NBA this year. And when Milwaukee needs a shot in the arm, they call on number 22.
Pierce, outstanding performer coming off the bench. You can see his numbers there, 23 points on 51% field goal shooting. No question that he's an extremely capable shooter and a real addition to the ball club offensively. The big problem is when he comes into the ball game, he has been known to be a bit of a defensive liability, and they have to try and find ways to kind of hide him there. But he gives so much with the offense that it's nice to have him.
And now let's go to the PA announcer here at the Bradley Center, Jack Gallo.
An award. behalf of the Miller Brewing Company and Miller Lite, it is my pleasure to present the 1990 Miller Lite NBA Six-Man Award to none other than Ricky Pierce of the Milwaukee Bucks. In addition to this very nice plaque, a check in the amount of $2,500 will be donated in Ricky's name to the National Leukemia Society. Congratulations, Ricky.
First of all, I would like to thank God for giving us all the strength to be here. And I would also like to thank our fans for the support they gave us this year as well. And my teammates, and also the coaches for believing in me. Thank you.
Ricky Pierce, the sixth man of the year in the NBA. We'll be back here for the tip-off in just a moment, but now let's go back to our studios in Atlanta and Craig Sager.
Thanks, Bob. Del Harris was one of 6 NBA coaches who looked in the mirror today and saw the possible end of the season. We'll keep you abreast of each of them. And joining me in Playoff Central for the next several days, Seattle coach Bernie Bickerstaff. Thanks for being with us.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
Now, if you're Indiana's coach, Dick Versace, you're down 2-0 to the defending NBA champs. How do you convince your team they can win not only tonight, but 3 in a row?
Well, number one, you don't give them any other reason to win other than the basketball game. Secondly, you got to focus on the immediate, and the immediate is that they must win tonight.
Of course, Cleveland, Milwaukee in the same situation. New York, same situation tomorrow. Are you surprised all the sweeps in the East?
Well, I think the home court advantage has proven to be the case, and it was also that way during the regular seasons.
As you found out this year, the West may be tougher than ever. What do you like out there, and how do you assess that situation?
Well, I think it has gotten much better with the draft choices coming out to that area. I think the Lakers are still the team because they know how to get it done, and they are able to sustain their game for 48 minutes. But it's interesting with San Antonio, Portland, Phoenix, Utah. They're all excellent basketball teams.
And there's one game already underway. Philadelphia-Cleveland. Right now, the Cavaliers lead by 15. More at halftime. But up next, the Chicago Bulls and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Barry with you from the Bradley Center. Let's have a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the visiting Chicago Bulls, who hold a 2-game-to-none lead. Grant, Pippen, and Cartwright, the front line. They have been outscoring the front line of Milwaukee, something fierce, and that'll be a problem tonight for the Bucks. Paxson and Jordan in the backcourt, and of course Michael Jordan leading all scorers in the playoffs again this year as usual. For Del Harris and the Milwaukee Bucks, Robert and Lohaus and Sigma, their front line. They'll bring Cadillac Anderson in early. He's been the most productive front court player. Paul Pressey and Alvin Robertson in the backcourt. As Rick told you on our opening, Jay Humphries injured with a groin pull, and of course you'll be seeing Anderson off the bench and the NBA's 6-man Ricky Pierce coming off the bench for the Bucks, trailing 2-0. Joe Crawford, Salvatore, and Garrettson are our officials tonight, and we're set to get underway from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This game is not quite a sellout. They seat about 20,000 here at the new arena, one of the more beautiful arenas in the NBA. With the Bucks down 2-0, not a sellout here tonight. Roberts off the opening tip, can't drive the baseline, and Pressey handles. Paul Pressey misses, but Robertson gets the rebound and goes back at it again. They had Roberts posted inside against John Paxson, and Robertson intelligently got him the ball.
They had him in there before, and they couldn't get it to him, but that time they were able to take advantage because he had deep position right under the hoop.
Bucks up 2-0. We got a quick whistle. It was Roberts with the personal foul away from the ball. Put that tie on Del Harris tonight. These coaches have gone tie crazy in the NBA this year. When you see the Chicago bench. I don't know what that has to do with the game, but they sure have done it. It's 2-0 Bucks. Pippen to Cartwright. Rebound Lohaus. They've got Robertson down deep. He spins inside. What a move by Alvin Robertson. A 360, and he laid it in with his left hand.
Got a technical foul on Del Harris, who's very, very upset, obviously, to get the technical foul. There's that tie Bob was talking about.
He was upset on the previous call. Then when Robertson had the ball down low, wanted another one. Let the officials know exactly what he felt about it. This gives Michael Jordan a chance to miss the technical free throw.
Yeah, Bob, I talked in the opening about the turnovers. 42 in the first 2 games for the Bucks. Very unlike them, a team that usually takes care of the basketball well, especially Del Harris coach teams. In 82 in a 3-game series, they set a record with Houston, only 28, and in a 4-game series in 89 against Detroit, only 36. So that's Del's big concern. He can't figure out what the problem is with his team in that area, but they're going to be trying to do better tonight.
Pippen and Jordan is the problem. Jordan from the baseline, he misses. Roberts with a rebound. Bulls have yet to score. 4-0 Bucks. First minute, 15 seconds of this ball game history. Robertson tried to dish it to Sikma, but Sikma was being taken to the turf by Bill Cartwright.
And they really like to get more production out of Jack, but Jack has a back problem and a rotor cuff problem on the right shoulder for shooting. Watch Cartwright here. He's pushing. Jack's trying to take him out of the way. There's the right arm as he hooked him right to the neck and the face and threw him down to the court.
Roberts makes it 6-0 Milwaukee. Jordan held by Alvin Robertson on the drive. 2 team fouls on Milwaukee, 1 on Chicago.
Bucks liable to pick up some early fouls here. They're going to try to play a little bit more physical in this ball game.
Look at that, Cleveland whipping Philadelphia significantly in the second quarter. And another foul very quickly, and it's on Lohaus. Oh no, check it, it's on Pressey.
Pressey's first, Bucks third team foul.
Chicago has yet to score. Posted Michael Jordan against Robertson. That one rattles home, and the Bulls have cracked the ice. Took the Bulls a minute 49 seconds to get that first bucket, and then Robertson comes up with a turnover. As Rick was talking about the problem they've had with it. Grant from Paxson, double clutches, followed by Pippen.
See, and that's the kind of turnover Dell's concerned about. It was not forced by the defense. That was just the lost control of the ball on the part of Robertson.
6-4 Milwaukee. Roberts left open for the jumper. Kept alive by Pressey to Grant, Paxson, and the Bulls running. Paxson. Out of bounds. It'll belong to Milwaukee. Milwaukee has 2 buckets from Fred Roberts and 1 from Robertson on the breakaway. It's been Pippen and Jordan who scored for Chicago. 10 on the shot clock. Lohaus goes for 3. Hits the top of the backboard. Chicago ball. Another missed opportunity for the Bucks. Fort Wayne Pistons in 1956. I remember that series very well.
I'm glad you do.
That's a lie. Jordan against Roberts will shoot it over it. Roberts got a piece of it.
Got a piece of his arm.
Got a piece of Michael. Roberts doesn't get the layup, but he draws the foul from John Paxson. Paxson's first. 2 team fouls on Chicago now.
And it looks like Milwaukee's trying to take advantage of some opportunities with early offense, something they didn't do a lot of in games 1 and 2. They really controlled the tempo of both of those ball games, Bob, but yet weren't able to come away with a victory. Phil Jackson would like to see his Bulls get a little bit more aggressive as far as trying to advance the ball down the court, but that's a little tougher to do with Paul Pressey. Paul will walk it up the court, take his time. When Humphrey plays, he tends to want to push it up a little bit quicker, and the Bulls would prefer that.
Fred Roberts playing in his 61st career playoff game.
The big question for Del Harris, Bob, is who does he put in to run the ball club if Pressey gets tired? You remember, he was injured and only came back just now to be playing significantly here in the playoffs.
8-4 Milwaukee. Pippen open for the jumper. Scottie Pippen has been red hot. He has 4 in this game. He's averaging 24.5 points per game. Had 32 points in game 2, a triple-double in game 1. Pressey posted against Paxson. The turnaround jump shot. He got it away before Grant could get there to swat it. It's 10-6 Bucks. Entry pass to Grant. He draws the foul. That's the first time really that Chicago's got the ball inside the paint effectively tonight. Grant, Pippen, and Cartwright and Jordan, Grant, Pippen, and Jordan are accounting for 71% of Chicago's points. They've scored 157 of the 220 Chicago points in the first 2 games.
Well, when you get a player like Michael and you get 2 of your other key players, those are the ones that are supposed to produce for you. So the Bulls fans and the coaching staff have to be pleased that they're getting the effort necessary.
15-point Cleveland lead over Philadelphia in the second period. Keep you posted on the playoff games. Be showing you some highlights throughout the evening. Stay with us. A lot of action in the NBA tonight in the playoffs. By the way, I understand that Larry Nance, who's really been performing poorly below his level in the playoffs, has 13 points already in the ballgame for Cleveland. Robertson on the drive, goes to the reverse again. Alvin Robertson now has 4 points. It's a 4-point Bucks lead. Jordan left alone for the drive. The hard foul from Sikma will send Jordan to the line.
Well, they prefer to have him go to the baseline, but if you're going to let him go baseline, somebody better try and shut it off somewhere along the route. Now watch him go to the baseline as he gets by. Nobody comes over to pick him up. He's able to get all the way to the backside until finally Sikma grabs him by the left arm to prevent the basket.
By the extended level of Michael's tongue on the drive, you could tell we were looking at a reversed windmill slam dunk if he's not grabbed there. And Anderson has now entered the game here after just over 4 minutes are gone in the first quarter, and Sikma will sit down. This makes Milwaukee tougher inside defensively. And the way Anderson's been playing makes him tougher inside offensively. Bucks by 2. Anderson, by the way, has hit 11 of his 12 shots in this 2-game series so far. Sets the pick, gets the roll, broken up nicely by Chicago. Pounds it inside anyway. Well, now he's 11 of 13. Jordan from Pippen. Pippen's averaging 11 assists a game in the playoffs.
He's been getting to handle the ball quite a bit, and of course you have to handle it to be able to get the assist. He's really stepped forward here in the playoffs.
The Bucks led 6-0. Chicago's now tied it. Robertson on the drive again. Jordan knocked it out of there. They're going to call him for the foul.
And obviously Michael disagrees with the call. But you see Alvin Robertson's catching Michael coming out at him a lot. There he went from behind. That looked like all ball, and he had good reason to complain. Looked like a nice play. If anything, it might have been a block from the underneath man.
Michael, Jordan, and Pippen are averaging 3.5 steals a game in the first 2. You see the domination of the Bulls over the Milwaukee Bucks. The matchups are just all in Chicago's favor. Jordan dishes it off to Grant to Pippen. Back to Paxson. To Jordan. Look at them all moving. Robertson knocks it out of bounds with 7 on the Chicago shot clock. And we have a Milwaukee timeout with 6:52 to go in the first quarter. And the Milwaukee Bucks hanging on for their dear lives, leading by 1. Ball game, the front line for each team has scored 6 points each so far. Roberts has 6, Pippen 4, and Grant 2. But in the first 2 games, Rick, the Chicago front court has just been really manhandling Milwaukee.
Yeah, and again, a great deal of that has to do with the fact that Jack Sikma is not the Jack Sikma that everybody knows. With the back problem and the rotor cuff problem and the shooting arm, he's been very ineffectual, and that's hurt the cause for the Bucks. And then, of course, you compound that with Humphries with the groin pull in game number 1, limited action in game 2, and not even available tonight. He is dressed, but he's not supposed to play. That's deadly in the playoffs.
Now Ricky Pierce has entered the game. Over Pressey. Jordan misses. Rebound Anderson.
They got him drifting that time. Michael complaining that he felt he got hit on that shot as well, but he was drifting.
Pressey backing Paxson into the paint. Finds Pierce open on the baseline. That should be automatic. The NBA Sixth Man of the Year. Ward received just a few minutes ago.
So tough to do, Bob, to be able to come off the bench and be that effective.
Paxson answers. Bucks by 1. Paxson's first basket. Looking for Roberts down low, but Pippen's on him. They're not going to find him down there. Pops out on Pippen. He gets the jumper. Nice move by Roberts. He got Pippen lost in the paint.
They need a big game from Fred.
Jordan misses him again. His own rebound, however, he doesn't miss that one from about 8 feet. And Michael Jordan has 8 points early. Bucks by 1. Well, Roberts has 8 already. He's been averaging 5 in the first 2 games, so they're getting a big game early.
Remember last year he had a terrific playoff series against Detroit, and they need that kind of performance out of Fred in this series, especially in tonight's game.
Here's Roberts again looking for points 9 and 10. Not this time. Kept alive by Pressey from behind Jordan. His little runner in the lane goes down, and Paul Pressey scores. Minutes ago, first period, Paxson left alone for the drive. He was wide open. They had to foul him down there after he laid it in.
He got drilled right in the face. I don't know if it was the nose or the left eye.
Anderson got him. Anderson was the man who took Michael Jordan down so hard Sunday.
Just watch the play as he comes around. See, they're so worried about Michael and all the other players. Pierce got picked off. Nobody switched out to pick him up. There, boom, with the elbow. Across the top of the left eye, looked like, by Cadillac Anderson. Here it comes again. Watch the right arm. Boom. Right along. Right the forearm near the elbow of Anderson drilled him.
Well, Jordan said after looking at the tapes, he didn't think that Greg Anderson intentionally fouled him so hard in the game on Sunday. But the Bucks are going to start, or the Bulls are going to start reconsidering soon, as Cadillac is really an enforcer there. You can see that John Paxson probably doesn't know where he is right now. He took a real hard shot to the head. We're going to take a commercial timeout here while Mark Feil, Chicago's trainer, attends to John Paxson. 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Let's watch this play with Paxson again as he gets open going around and mix up defensively. Watch Anderson come over, and then watch the reaction, the delayed reaction of Paxson. He's going to go up, get boom right there. Now he looks up at the basket to see what happens. Now it's like all of a sudden the pain hits him, and then he grimaces and grabs onto his face. So here's another angle right there, side of the face, the left side. They were checking him to see if perhaps they fractured a cheekbone or what might have taken place, but he got hit pretty good, and it looks like he's staying in the ball game, I think, Bob.
Well, if he doesn't shoot his free throw, he wouldn't be able to return to the ball game.
Got to shoot the free throw. And
Adel out there and try that anyway. You're right. It looked like he got it in the jaw, but he's moving his mouth. Looks to be all right. I'm sure maybe it just gave him a momentary long-distance call, as they say in football. He hears it ringing still, I'm sure. Paxson, by the way, averaging just 4 points a game. 2 games this series. Matched that already here tonight. Has 4. Cleveland continues to lead Philadelphia. Hersey Hawkins has 17 points in that game early on. Nance had 13 early for Cleveland. Tied at 19. There's that Chicago trap. Roberts almost losing it. Lowhouse, bad pass to Anderson, out of bounds. It belongs to the Bulls.
And there's where the pressure of the Bulls causing the problem for them. Now you can see the turnover situation there. That was not a good pass. Lowhouse took it inside and threw it behind his own teammate.
Tied at 19. Cartwright isolated against Anderson. Superior height. His jump hook falls. Cartwright's first 2 of the night.
One thing, Sigma will play better defense individually against Cartwright than Anderson will.
Isolated Pressey on the right side. Now the play starts with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Pierce open from about 19. Roberts rebounds. Back to Pressey. Lowhouse from the corner.
They've got to hit those open shots.
Had 2 opportunities for uncontested jumpers. Neither one would fall. Jordan for 3. Anderson kept the ball alive, but Grant got it out to Pippen, out of bounds, off Milwaukee. It belongs to the Bulls with 20 on their shot clock.
Bucks are getting good shots. They're just not dropping them in right now.
Shooting plus 50% for the series from the floor.
They have to do that to even have a chance.
Cartwright again against Anderson. To the left hand. Doesn't go this time, though, and rebound goes to Lohaus. And I agree with you, Rick. With Anderson playing Cartwright, the Bulls will keep trying to get it down there to him. He's got that big size advantage. Roberts tries to dish out of bounds off Chicago. 14 on the clock.
That's good defense by the Bulls as they were all over the ball, and good rotation as Michael came in to knock the pass inside, and they're doing a very good job with their pressure defensively and their doubles and rotations.
Pressey. He misses the jump. Paxson open for the spot-up jumper. He won't miss that much. He's apparently okay. And Chicago has scored 7 straight points to take a 23-19 lead. And Del Harris knows what we know. He gets timeout with 3 minutes 6 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Milwaukee Bucks got a 6-0 lead, and then Chicago started coming back, tied it at 12, and now Chicago leads it by 4, 23-19. It's been Paxson with 7, Jordan with 8. The backcourt has been doing most of the scoring, and Fred Roberts has 8 of the Milwaukee points.
Well, again, Milwaukee has just gotten cold with their offense. They've moved the ball well. They've gotten some good opportunities, and the jump shots have not been dropping in. What they're going to have to try to look to do is they're going to have to try and see if they can get themselves to go inside perhaps a little bit more and get some opportunities down inside. When the outside shots aren't working, you've got to try and figure a way to get it inside. But the Bulls defense has been playing pretty tough. When they've tried that, there've been defenders there, and so you have to credit Chicago with their defense right now. That's helped turn it around. The Chicago defense with some pressure and the ineffectiveness of the outside shooting on the part of the Milwaukee Bucks and their inability to get it inside thanks to some good Chicago defense.
A lot of Chicago fans have driven up here, only 90 miles north of Chicago on the shores of Lake Michigan. This is game 1 of our doubleheader on TNT tonight. Skip Carey and Kevin Lockery have game 2, San Antonio at Denver. The Denver Nuggets vowing to stop a sweep there, but unless they can stop David Robinson, the Denver Nuggets may be out in 3 quick ones. The only thing that seems to be turning around in the second, the game 3, the shift back to the underdog team is that Cleveland is leading Philadelphia right now. We'll keep you posted on that score too.
And of course they're at home. They're supposed to be doing that. But if you notice, that score has been kind of like Philly inching up on them slowly but surely. And there's still a long time to go in that game. The San Antonio-Denver game should be an interesting one. Denver, of course, so much more effective at home when you get that team up there in that altitude. And believe me, having played up there, the altitude does have an effect on you. And so if Denver's ever going to win a ball game, their best chance, of course, will be in tonight's ball game. And Doug Moe would like nothing better than to be able to win the ball game against his old roommate and teammate of both his and mine, Larry Brown.
There's the halftime score. Cleveland by 13. They led by 15. The Bucks went 8 for 12, but missed their last 4 shots and trail 23-19. Anderson on the turnaround. It won't fall either. Now they've missed their last 5 shots.
Good hustle there. They could knock it off of a Chicago Bull by Alvin Robertson. But again, they're not shooting well, Bob, and they're still content to take the outside shot. When that's happening, you got to try and get it inside, get an easier shot.
Pressey gets it down to Robertson, who just re-entered the game after the timeout, and Robertson immediately gets his 7th point of this early game.
And where they go?
Inside. Chicago by 2. Robertson with the near steal. It belongs to Milwaukee. Robertson calls a turnover, and the Bucks have a chance to tie. Robertson, Pressey, and Pierce, for all practical purposes, 3 guards in there with Lohaus and Anderson. Pierce will be the number 3 man in their lineup.
Well, 4 of the 5 top scorers for the team are guards. That's if you count Humphries, who's not playing.
Lohaus went hard to the board, but couldn't hold on to it. Paxson from Jordan. Paxson having himself a good shooting night. He has 9 points in the ball game. Hit his last 4. Stacey King will be in here for Chicago momentarily. Shot clock down to 7 for Milwaukee. Pressey against Paxson, draws the double team. Grant stepped up there to knock it out of bounds with only 2 on the shot clock.
Again, you saw the good rotation defensively as the double came down. Horace Grant rotated up, almost came away with the steal. Now Anderson should be able to take a little bit of an advantage with Cartwright out and the rookie in the ball game as Milwaukee wants their 22nd timeout to get over, think over and discuss some strategy.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, Rick and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game. Speaking of Stacey King, he's having a rookie playoff series. He's struggling.
Well, but eventually he's going to be a good basketball player for them. He has a lot of ability. And he needs to work a little bit more, of course, down in his inside game. Learn to use that right hand a little bit more. But something that he has been working on, and he started playing better late in the season. But of course, the playoffs are a different story, and it's a whole new experience. And it's talked about so much. I think sometimes talked about too much because players get to thinking about it more than they really should. I mean, after all, you still are going out playing a basketball game. It just has a little bit more importance. But if you have confidence in your ability, you should be able to go out and perform.
From the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Bob Neal, Rick Barry with you. Game 3 of the first round Eastern Conference playoff series between Chicago and Milwaukee. The lob on the out of bounds play to Lohaus.
Pretty good 22nd timeout in the play that Del Harris came up with.
Pierce is on Pippen. Now the double team. King against Anderson. And Stacey King gets his first one to fall in.
Hey, if he wants to go across the middle to use his right hand, I'm going to say let him go and let him shoot with his right hand.
Pierce driving on Jordan, shoots on the run, draws the foul.
You know, I mentioned, I think that Humphries was going to be dressed tonight, but he is not dressed. I guess they don't even want to take a chance of thinking about putting him in the ball game. He is in the street clothes, sitting next to Larry. Well, people pronounce that name a lot of different ways. Shashoviak, I think, is the correct way. There's Larry and
with his Pat Riley haircut. Having Jay Humphries out of this ball game will definitely hurt the Milwaukee Bucks because except for Pressey, they've really got ball handling problems.
Well, Dell said he might have to go 48 with Paul, and that's a tough assignment, especially if you're running the ball club and having to play tough defense, which he does. He may have to go and bring a guy like a Jeff Grayer in who hasn't hardly seen any time, just to give him a minute or two somewhere along the line.
Pressey does have 4.6 assists already. 6 assists. Pippen kicks it to Michael Jordan. Chicago by 4, and Michael Jordan has double figures. Michael's only 4 of 9 from the floor at this point, still has 10 points. Robertson inside, and Alvin Robertson now has 9.
That's pretty impressive. He took that ball inside and actually had Horace Grant on him, was able to still get the shot up and in.
Pippen, you see his ball handling, kicking it to Jordan, almost poked away by Robertson. Shot clock down to 6 seconds. Michael against Alvin. From 19, Jordan knew that one was going. Was already across the timeline when it went through the net. Ten seconds in the quarter. Left hand attempt by Pressey. Leaves 3 seconds for the Bulls. And Grant stepped out of bounds with 3/10 of a second remaining.
Yeah, Stacey King should have given that ball up, and that cost the Bulls a chance to get another basket. Pressey thought he had gotten fouled, just threw it up, expected a whistle.
Robertson with about a 75-footer that goes wide left, and Chicago ends the first quarter leading at 31-27 after Milwaukee had jumped out to a 6-0 lead to open the ball game. NBA playoffs, game one of our doubleheader tonight. This is Chicago and Milwaukee. The Bulls have a 4-point lead ready to begin the second quarter, and 21 of the Bulls' 31 have come from the backcourt, with Jordan 12 and Paxson 9.
And Milwaukee can't afford to allow the Bulls to get 30 points, 31 points in a quarter. That's more of a Bulls type of game, the way that Phil Jackson would like to see things continue.
Sigma back in, playing Stacey King now. King powers in the middle, got some help from Anderson, who lost the ball. Ill-advised drive that time. Here comes Robertson on the layup. He draws the foul. Horace Grant got him. That'll be 2.
And Milwaukee, I think, catching the Bulls a bit flat-footed in their transition, and they really didn't, look to do a great deal of that type of transition offense. And they've been getting some good opportunities. They've gotten at least 3 good ones in this ball game.
Robertson back to the free throw line. He's the leading scorer for Milwaukee. Fred Roberts had a quick 8 to start the ball game, but hasn't scored since early. He's not in there now. Chicago by 2. Milwaukee playing for their playoff lives, trailing in the best of 5, 2 games to none. Paxson. Oh, he's feeling it tonight. Even the sock in the jaw from Greg Anderson hadn't stopped him. Paxson has 11, and he's hit his last 5 shots from the floor. Pierce leaning in. Rebound Pippen. Jordan, this is for 3. Milwaukee ball. Pressey, Pierce, Robertson, along with Sigma and Anderson out there for the Milwaukee Bucks right now. Pressey fouled on the drive by John Paxson. That's his second.
The second on the Bulls in the period.
Bulls have used only 1 substitute so far. That's Stacey King, who's in there right now. Robertson finds an opening again and gets to the hoop. Robertson has 13, and he's been getting them almost all. I think all of them inside.
Yeah, he's not the greatest outside shooter in the world, but he's been doing a terrific job on penetration, and the Bulls are going to have to make a quick adjustment.
Pippen fake right, went left and hit his jump shot, and Scotty has 6 points.
Got to play up on Scotty at that distance. He likes to, as we talked about, likes to shoot the jumper from that distance. Get up on him, make him go inside, make him pull up about 12, 13 feet from the basket. He just does not shoot it as well on that type of a play.
10 seconds on the shot clock for Milwaukee. Robertson driving again. Once again, successful getting there, but missed the layup. Pippen gets the carom. The behind the back pass. Pippen from Jordan to King, and the foul. It was all started by the nice pass from Jordan.
And right now the Bulls are really getting down the court quickly, getting into some early offensive opportunities, playing the type of game and the pace that they'd like to play. You see Scotty had called Michael, so Michael dropped it off to him. He draws the defender. See, Anderson had to come over to help out. As he did that, that left the opening for King, and he dished it off to King, at least Pippen did, and they were able to get the opportunity for the 3-point play. That's just good ball movement.
Now here comes Mr. Blue Collar for Chicago. Ed Neely's having a career here. Playing for Chicago in this playoff series. He's their muscle man. .250 pounds, 6'7". And there's another score. Houston leading the Lakers 16-8.
What does that mean, though? Houston's had big leads on them in both of those ball games. 17 at the half the other day, and lost that one.
Pressey from 10 on the baseline. He said that shot 3 times tonight. Hasn't been able to hit it. Jordan ran into big trouble down there. Sigma was there. Anderson, Alvin Robertson, any of them could have committed the foul, and they're going to give it to Robertson.
You know, the one thing, you got to just play position when you play Michael on that type of a play, Bob. Now watch what they do. They'll reach him with their hands. They play pretty good. They do a pretty good job. They'll force him into the baseline as he gets the ball. There he goes, baseline. Now they're inside. They got good position. Now they're reaching. You see, when you reach in with your hands against a great player, invariably they're going to call fouls against you. Just hold your position and make him make the shot.
Jordan having a little bit of non-Jordan-like foul shooting problems tonight. He missed a technical earlier. Lowhouse in for Anderson. Pierce will sit down too.
You know, the one difference that Houston Laker game, of course, is that the Rockets are at home. And it's a heck of a lot more difficult for a team to play out of a hole, the old deep hole syndrome, when you're on the road. But if any team can do it, certainly the Lakers are capable.
So Lohaus, Sigma, and Roberts are back in there, along with Robertson and Pressey. This is the biggest lead of the ball game by Chicago. 7 points, 38-31. Pressey from 14. Remember, jumpers aren't falling. That's all there is to it.
Remember the first game with the pressure? The Bucks came down and they attacked and went to the basket. Well, now they're settling for the outside shot as Hodges misses that one for the Bulls.
The Bulls have Neely and Hodges along with King, Jordan, and Pippen. Lohaus likes this shot. The left-hander misses it. Kept alive by Roberts. Inside to Robertson, but Jordan punched it away. Nice play by Alvin Robertson. They're going to get Craig Hodges with a loose ball.
Robertson really being the big factor for the Bucks right now, keeping it in the ball game. They're trailing by 7, but if it had not been for Alvin Robertson, they could be down by 12 or more. He's been very active defensively and, of course, the big factor offensively.
Well, Indiana and Detroit just got underway. I understand that Detlef Schrempf and Dennis Rodman have already got into a brouhaha and have had technicals, so the bad boys of the Central Division, Indiana and Detroit, are going at it again. Inside to King from Jordan, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Chicago ball.
Yeah, look at Phil Jackson's reaction to it. You're going to see as the pass goes down inside, Michael gets it inside to King from behind. Boom, with the body. He blocked the shot, but he definitely hit him with the body. It was a foul.
Jordan with the penetration. Neely with a big rebound, but he loses it to Robertson.
Technical foul.
Well, that was coming. Phil Jackson just kept at it until he got it. And Joe Crawford. So both these coaches have received a technical early in this game.
Watch Phil. There goes Phil as he had a few other words to say after that one.
I want to ask Phil, where's that laid-back style he's talking about? He's taking it up a notch for the playoffs. Sigma gets the technical.
I mean, being brought up under, Pentecostal, I think, ministers or folks were, I believe, they would not have been pleased with what he said there.
They'd like the fire in the blood, though. 38-32 Chicago. 8:29 to go first half. Roberts is posted down low, but they didn't get the ball to him again. Pippen was lurking near him all the time. Now he tries it again inside over Pippen. Roberts has 10. Jordan is fouled by Lohaus.
Well, you can't join the paratrooper club against a great player like Michael Jordan. You get up in the air and he's going to make you pay your dues every time. As he got Lohaus in the air and he just allowed him to fall on top of him and almost got the three-point play out of it.
Houston by 11. We understand James Worthy with 2 early fouls for the Los Angeles Lakers in that game. Portland leading Dallas. That's at Dallas. Portland up 2-0 in that series. And the halftime score has Cleveland ahead of Philadelphia 13. Hersey Hawkins has 17 points in that ball game for Philadelphia. And Craig Sager and Bernie Bickerstaff will highlight those playoff games for you at halftime.
I'm glad Bernie is there, and I want to tell Bernie, it was great working with you this year with the Sonics. I wanted to call him and thank him for that opportunity.
Well, this is about $30-40 million worth of technical equipment there for your call.
Yeah, saved me a long distance call.
Robertson from 18. Alvin Robertson has 15 in the game. Chicago still up by 4, but the Bucks are hanging in here. Jordan missing the 3. Rebound. Lohaus almost stolen by Jordan. You could see it coming as Michael followed his shot.
Yeah, he knew he missed it when he let it go and tried to go in and almost came up with the steal. You know, one thing about Bernie, if Bernie didn't get an ulcer reoccurrence this year, I don't think he ever will. It was a tough year, and he did a good job under adverse circumstances.
Neely comes away with it to Craig Hodges. King, nice feed to Pippen, got everybody airborne and drew the foul. Milwaukee Bucks flying everywhere. That was the second personal on Brad Lohaus.
Well, there we go with another turnover down the other end. See, the pass came in from the same side that the defender was in, and Hodges was able to get a hand on it. That is just not playing intelligent basketball. As you come back down the other end, Pippen, there he goes, the ball fake, the paratrooper members, and anytime you see guys in the air like that, invariably you're going to see a foul. But the big problem there, Bob, is you can't throw the ball in from the right side when you've got a guy overplaying on that same angle. You've got to bring it in the other way.
Charles Davis into the ball game for the Chicago Bulls. Chicago up by 5. Their biggest lead in this game has been 7. And Pippen gives them a 6-point lead at this point. 7:12 to go in the first half. Team fouls. Bucks have 4. Chicago has 3. Got Roberts posted down inside against Hodges again. Couldn't get him the ball again. Sikma gets a 3 from the corner. Big bucket from Jack Sikma. He has 4 points in the game. Only a free throw prior to that triple.
42-39, Chicago.
Six on the shot clock. Pippen with the underhand scoop. Davis, big rebound. Belongs to Milwaukee, but Chicago looking like they're starting to dominate the offensive boards there, even though they're not getting good shots off. Have a timeout on the floor with 6:33 to go in the first half, and the Bucks trailing it by 3. Our Acura NBA leaders. You see the Lakers with 14 consecutive winning seasons, but the Bucks have been consistent here in Milwaukee too, and generally speaking successful in the first round of the playoffs, even though they trail 2 games to none this year. Some of the great players you see in the upper right there, those retired jerseys with John McLaughlin. John has worked with us a few times on TNT as the color analyst for the Milwaukee Bucks. Second half has started in the Cleveland-Philadelphia game. Philadelphia's pulled to within 11. And that one I told you that Schrempf and Rodman picked up technicals early in the game. Worthy and early foul trouble in the game at Houston, and Portland up in front of Dallas by 6. Greg Anderson into the ball game now, along with Robertson, Sikma, Pressey, and Roberts. Foul in the backcourt. It's on Craig Hodges. That's 2 on Hodges.
Both teams with 14 fouls, so they'll both be in the penalty from this point forward. 6.5 to go.
Chicago with that trap giving Milwaukee some problems. Remember, Jay Humphries not playing. Not a lot of great ball handlers out there. Behind the back, Robertson to Sikma, kicks it to Roberts, back to Robertson, low, and he scores again from down there close. And Alvin Robertson has 17 first half points. He's 7 out of 9. Hodges from long range. He'll hit that one 9 out of 10 times. Chicago by 3.
It's the chance now for the Bucks to do some damage because Michael's getting a rest on the bench.
Robertson got inside easily again. Wave off the basket. He was fouled on the drive.
Well, Davis is the man holding on there, and I think he was the one to call the foul. Held on to Anderson is what it was, as you see Michael getting that rest on the bench. And again, when you're an opposing team, you have got to try to take advantage of the Bulls with him resting. You can't allow them to play you even or, in fact, increase their lead. That's death.
So Anderson goes to the free throw line as that foul sent Chicago over the limit. Greg Anderson had hit 11 out of 12 shots coming into this game, averaging 13.5 a game and 7 rebounds, and playing very well in this series for Milwaukee. This is this one, but a big rebound goes to Alvin Robertson. Bucks with a chance to tie. Out of bounds off Chicago, 19 on the shot clock.
The Bulls have been very active with their arms and their hands. They've gotten a lot of hands on balls and passes and deflected them, caused some turnovers. They're doing a good job with their defense.
Pressey looking for some help, not getting it. Taking it himself to the hoop. He beats Charles Davis, gets the layup, and draws the foul, and has the three-point opportunity, and that's 2 on Charles Davis.
Well, they cleared out the side, and the Chicago Bull defenders didn't have good man-ball relationship. Watch here. You see Grant, and all of a sudden he turned his head, lost the ball. Cartwright got late. Grant had no idea the drive was coming, not in position to help. That's just not good team defense.
Chance here for Pressey to give the Bucks the lead. Milwaukee had led 6-0 early, but since then it's been Chicago in the lead. Pressey 7 points and 9 assists. He's Milwaukee's all-time assist leader. Hodges for 3. Cartwright couldn't hold on to it, and Robertson has 5 rebounds to Roberts. Fouled hard by Pippen, but Pippen goes down harder than Roberts does. Roberts with a good start in this ball game. He has 10 points, and he'll go to the line.
Well, they're just starting to pick up the pace here. I mean, the Bucks just really getting turned on. Watch how strong Roberts tries to go in here. Pippen just hammers them, and both players bouncing off one another as Scotty gets the worst of it. And to the line goes Fred Roberts, but the Bucks looking to be more aggressive offensively, forcing Phil Jackson to have to go back to Michael and Paxson, who's two of his big offensive weapons here tonight. You know, the irony about, I believe, is in game number 1 when the Bulls wound up losing that game up here in Milwaukee, that the Bucks came out and I think they scored 60-some-odd points in that first half. They really played a more up-tempo game. Maybe that's the secret, not trying to slow it down. It's the only game they won all season and in the playoffs.
So Michael Jordan's back in along with Paxson. Pippen will get a rest. So it's Paxson, Jordan, Grant, and Cartwright along with Ed Neely.
This is getting set up for the same thing we've talked about. In every game they've played this season in the playoffs, Bob, regardless of the halftime score, whether it was close or whatever, the team that won the third quarter is the team that won the ball game.
Bucks lead it by 3. 5 minutes to go first half, and Fred Roberts, 10 points total in the first 2 games, has 12 tonight, so he showed up to play here at his home court. Jordan from 19, Cartwright with a rebound. Almost punched away by Robertson. Michael not shooting the ball well, only about 33%, 5 out of 14 early. 9 on the shot clock. Cartwright against Sikma.
Travel. See the difference the way Sikma plays him?
And Cartwright knows the difference himself. When he got in there, he didn't attempt the shot. He was looking to pass when he traveled.
Well, first of all, Jack does a better job of denying him low block position, keeps him out a little higher.
Milwaukee on a 6-0 run. Robertson from the perimeter. Yes.
See, when you're going hot and you're scoring, all of a sudden the outside shot becomes a lot easier for you.
He forgot all those others were layups. We got a timeout, Chicago, as the Bucks have built a 5-point lead with 4:26 to go in the half. That started as soon as Michael took a rest.
We'll continue in a moment. Hello again, I'm Craig Sager. Milwaukee's not the only team on the edge of elimination. Cleveland, Dallas, Indiana, Houston, and Denver are also in must-win situations. We'll be joining several of those games in progress at halftime. I'll also be joined in Playoff Central by Seattle coach Bernie Bickerstaff. But now back to Bob Neal and Rick Barry.
Bucks have built a 5-point lead with 4:26 remaining in the first half of play in the Milwaukee starting backcourt. Robertson with 19, Pressey with 7 points. That matches the 11 for Paxson and 15 for Jordan, so they're off to a good start. And Pierce hasn't made much of a contribution offensively so far.
No, he hasn't. Look at one of the cute signs here in attendance. Speaks for itself. But yes, and then the Bucks have to feel very good about that fact that they have gotten that 5-point lead now. Took advantage of Michael being on the bench and the fact that Pierce has been rather ineffectual for him here in this ball game.
Paxson wanted the 3, finds Grant from 17 feet. Horace Grant doesn't get it. Rebound Jordan. And Michael will go to the free throw line again. Already in this game he has 15, and that's the 3rd foul on Jack Sikma. Causing Del Harris to look to the bench. He's going to get Brad Lohaus in here. Sikma with 3 fouls and 4:11 to go in the first half. Lohaus only 2 points. He got him in the first quarter. Jordan said he's very sore from that hard fall he took on Sunday, but otherwise received no injuries. Hit his shoulder, his hip, said his head hurt.
We kind of spread out the shot that way.
Robertson pulls up from 16. Doesn't get the bounce. Bounced off his foot out of bounds. It'll belong to Chicago. Bucks by 3. There's the double team on Jordan. Finds Neely all alone down low, and Milwaukee decided Neely is such a lack of an offensive threat they left him alone. I mean, you can't leave him that alone.
Well, not under the basket, that's for sure.
Robertson tried to get it to Anderson out of bounds off Milwaukee. It'll be Chicago ball again with a chance to regain the lead with 3:23 to go in the first half. Jordan alone over Roberts. Michael 6 out of 15 from the floor now. Has 19 points. Chicago back on top.
A lot of cheering because a lot of the Bulls fans came up here. They had like 4,000 seats available, so a lot of Chicago fans have made the short trip up from Chicago.
Got a foul away from the ball. It's illegal defense called against Bill Cartwright, who's standing very alone in the paint. It's been a game of streaks. Chicago currently on a 6-0 run. Milwaukee opened 6-0.
You know, one of the reasons too the Bucks haven't been able to get inside quite as often other than Alvin Robinson is that Humphries usually runs the pick and roll play, comes off, creates some problems by penetration himself, and they don't have that luxury tonight with Humphries on the bench.
Robertson got down in low again,
but they have that luxury.
Robertson 21 first half points. Jordan from long range, 6 of 16 shooting the ball now. Lohaus takes it into the paint. Misses the finger roll. Too much mustard on that hot dog. Paxson driving inside, tried to feed to Michael, broken up nicely by the Bucks. The pass ahead to Roberts, who saves it to Anderson. Lohaus missed it again inside, and now Chicago runs. It's Paxson against Pressey. Nice move by Paxson going to his offhand.
Two big opportunities missed down there as Lohaus put too much spin on both of his shots, and as it caught the rim, it just flipped right out.
Paxson having a whale of a game. 13 points. He's hit his last 6. Bulls by 1. Robertson inside again, this time against Cartwright. He fouls Robertson. He'll get a 3-point opportunity. Alvin Robertson having a career with 23 points.
He did a great job to get free as he took his man inside, and there he came back out as he lost his man and just took it right into Cartwright. Now see how he uses the body. He made the body contact, kept the ball away, double clutched to wind up getting a chance for the 3-point play. He has played spectacularly here tonight on both ends of the court.
Bucks up by 2 minutes 45 to go. Cleveland laying a whipping on Philadelphia tonight. Detroit leading Indiana at Indianapolis in the first quarter. And the Lakers have crept back in that ball game, trailing by 2 now. They had been down at one point. Houston had doubled the score. Portland leading Dallas. And Craig Sager and Bernie Bickerstaff will have the information for you on all those games at halftime, including some live cut-ins to those games. So you'll get action while we're stopped in action here in Milwaukee.
And Pressey has to be careful. He's now got 2 fouls. Of course, that's not a problem at this juncture, but they can certainly, they just can't afford to get Paul Pressey in foul difficulty with Jay Humphries unavailable.
Paxson close to doubling his first 2 games offensive output. Tied at 54. Time remaining in the first half, bottom half of your screen. Roberts lost Grant, back to Pressey.
Hot potato just bounced around in the Bulls' hands. They couldn't grab it and finally bounced off a ball out of bounds. You know, one thing, Bob, it's a number of times you mentioned the man open underneath, especially Roberts. He's come across, but the ball hasn't been there when he's been open.
Exactly. It's happened since the beginning of the game. The first time they tried to go to Roberts, he was posted. They didn't get him the ball.
Yeah, and he's coming across wide open, but the timing is just not there. The pass has got to be on its way as he's making his cuts, kind of like, you know, like an end running a pass pattern in football.
3 personals on John Paxson now as Pressey goes to the line. In this ball game, Pressey has 7 points. He led all scorers for Milwaukee in the 109-102 loss in Game 2. with 25. Pippen coming back in for the Bulls. Pressey takes bend your knees on the free throws to an all-new level.
And it reminds you a little bit of the way Bill Bradley used to kind of shoot free throws. But I tell you, it's really a tribute to Paul, the way that he's been able to respond and perform in these playoffs, having missed so many games with injuries late in the season, to come in and be this effective. That's admirable.
55-54 Milwaukee. Looking for Grant. They had Michael Jordan, posted on against Robertson. Now he gets past Anderson and goes to the jam. That was Jordan all the way offensively. They'd cleared about everybody out of there the Bulls had on that offensive set.
Well, he knew where the defender was on his shoulder, and he had a big guy on him. He just made a terrific spin move and just left him in the dust.
Mismatch down low. They don't get the ball to Pressey against Paxson. Now they do. The double team. Lohaus open for a three-pointer. Lohaus gets the triple. Bucks regain the lead by 2. 11 first-half assists from Paul Pressey to go with his 8 points. Jordan gets Robertson faked all the way to half court and takes the shot. It's tied at 58. Jordan with a routine 23 here in the first half. Robertson on the drive, down inside again. This time the block. Was that Pippen who got it? 3-on-1. Chicago by 2, 11.6 seconds remaining in the half. Anderson powers it inside, misses the finger roll. Pippen's going to stop and shoot it from 35 and not hit it, but the Bulls have the lead 60-58 after the first half here at Bradley Center. That's a Chicago scoring pace, 60 points at halftime. Stay with us. We'll highlight all the playoff action for you.
With Chicago leading Milwaukee by 2, welcome to the Prudential Halftime Report. Good evening, I'm Craig Sager, along with Seattle coach Bernie Bickerstaff. We have a lot of scores, a lot of games to talk about, but right now we want to go to the game between the LA Lakers and the Houston Rockets. The LA Lakers fell down by 12 early. They stormed back. Let's join Chick Hearn and Stu Nance.
Increased production in his offense.
Yep. He doesn't look like he'd be a star in this league, but he plays very steadily. Magic Johnson's got the ball following 2 successful free throws. The Lakers trail at 38-34. Now Wiggins puts the body on Magic. Magic's bigger and stronger. In low to Worthy. He's got it. Throws it up, back over. He's heading in. He thought he was fouled. I thought he traveled. Whatever. He made a miraculous shot for his first points of the game. Bounce pass in low and a foul on Woolridge.
No,
they called it the other way. They called it on Smith pushing off as he received the ball. Smith doesn't like the call.
Well, Smith is such a banger. Any foul, that's that kind of a foul he's not going to like.
That's 3 fouls on him, so sore ankle and all, he'll hit the pine real fast. Magic with the ball, 8.5 to play in the first half. The Lakers are down by 3. The ball to Worthy, 18 feet out. He shoots, and it wouldn't go for him. The rebound is up, fumbled by Smith, taken by Sleepy Floyd. Floyd comes out of the backcourt. Floyd holds it up at the 3-point line. Pass broken up by Cooper, hit high in the air, grabbed by Michael Thompson. Great play by Coop. The Magic, length of the court to Coop. He's got it, bounce to Worthy, finish it off, slam dunk. What a smart pass by Cooper. What a smart pass following Magic's 85-foot delivery down the floor. 1-point ball game. Rockets lead it. Timeout, Rockets.
And there's the story right there. Houston up by 1. However, they had been leading, as we mentioned, by 12 points. And, you know, there were 6 coaches today that faced possible elimination for the season. And I think when they went in and they told their players, rather than have the swan song, they used the song by Olivia Newton-John, let's get physical, because all night long we've been seeing teams out there trying to establish themselves early.
Well, definitely, and they allow you to play in the playoffs, and you shouldn't open the gates when people drive in the paint. You got to earn the respect, and Cleveland did that and improved their game, and Houston and the Lakers, they're all doing the same thing, but that's territory, and it's the strongest will who wins.
Speaking of Cleveland, that score probably surprised a lot of people, but you mentioned they did get physical. Tree Rollins, who had not played in either of the first 2 games, but is known basically as a very physical player, got a lot of minutes in the first quarter, and of course he went in and established himself, and right now it is 93 to 62, a 31-point lead. Bernie, I think that one's over. What about you?
Well, I think the emotions has prevailed here.
Okay, elsewhere, let's look at the scoreboard. Portland and Dallas. Buck Williams had a great first quarter, 7 points and 10 rebounds. However, he caught an elbow from James Donaldson just before the end of the first quarter. He's in the locker room right now. And some other scores to talk about. Indiana and Detroit. Indiana came out strong, but right now they're trailing 32-29. That's in the second quarter. The LA-Houston game, obviously a very close one. LA fell behind in the first quarter in all 3 games of this series, but as we mentioned, they came back to win the next 2, and now they're coming back right here. Let's go to Chick Hearn and Stu Lantz.
Pretty good isolation against Magic. Now we got Magic with the ball in the front court. Double team. Whips the ball out in front to Woolridge. Over the left side to Worthy, and Worthy holds it up 20 feet to the left of the goal. James Worthy goes to the base. Stop. Pick and roll to Thompson. Fumble. Pick it up. Try to get it out to Woolridge. He does, but 3 seconds on Woolridge. Yep, he was in there long enough for dinner.
Well, that time again, Michael Thompson had an opportunity to catch the ball on the pick and roll, but Olajuwon's presence makes you rush. He rushed the catch, fumbled the ball, turnover.
Pat Riley getting AC Green ready to come back in. I'm Chick Hearn with Stu Lantz. We come to you live from Houston, Texas. Floyd's got the ball. Floyd dribbling the ball to be double teamed and brings it out in front of Thorpe, the Providence chap. Now over to Maxwell. Maxwell in the corner takes the ball to Buck Johnson. Out to Maxwell. Swings it to Floyd. He looks for his second 3 of the night. Got it.
Well, that's one way to get the Lakers out of that double and triple team if Floyd and Maxwell can continue to knock down the outside shot.
He did not make a 3 in the first 2 games. He's made 2 tonight in as many tries. Magic dribble drive. Magic down the middle. Magic all the way. Put it up and in and lands on his wallet. And now it's 44 to 40. The Lakers trail it. The inbound pass. Buck Johnson to the guard. Sleepy Floyd. Eric went to Georgetown. Comes around the 3-point line. Guarded by Magic. Double teamed by Woolridge. Out in front to Thorpe, and Thorpe holds it up. He looks lost way out there in front of the perimeter. Over to Buck Johnson. In low to Olajuwon. Now the ball out again. It comes to Floyd for another 3. It's straight. It's good.
Well, that's a back-breaking kind of a shot, and when you're in a trapping defense...
Sleepy Floyd with a hot hand. The importance of that is that will bring the defense out, maybe open it up in the middle for Akeem Olajuwon. Houston right now on top 47 to 40. A lot of basketball still ahead. The second half is Chicago, Milwaukee, and later tonight we have the second half of our doubleheader. It should be a good one. San Antonio travels to Denver. San Antonio leads that series 2-0. We'll be back in a minute.
We go above and beyond just like you. Above and beyond what we have to do.
I'm a Prudential representative. When I talk to people about CDs and mutual funds, they're surprised at the wide range of investment opportunities I can offer.
You work hard, so do we, to make what you've worked for a reality. The Rock, the Prudential, above and beyond.
The Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the Rock. Making it great inside the NBA. Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Welcome to Inside the NBA with our Super Tuesday coverage. The Portland Trail Blazers have just scored 8 consecutive points to go up on the Dallas Mavericks 48-40 in the second quarter. Let's join Alan Stone and Bob Ortegal.
Basket in this first half, and Drexler in fast motion, but now kicks it back to Porter. Tried to force it inside to Drexler, but the Mavericks rip it down, and Herb Williams, who's had a strong first half for Dallas. As we wind down toward the 4-minute mark. Harpley, well, he's going to keep shooting. And that's not good news for the Mavericks right here. Robinson. Lob to Drexler. Thank you very much. Well, that lob was almost in the cylinder.
You could see it coming. It was a great pass. Drexler does that so well. Look at Robinson with the pass. It was just outside the cylinder, though. It was close. Great play by Drexler.
Boy, I tell you what, Robinson, first it was Petrovic and Young on Saturday night. It is Robinson off the bench in the second quarter tonight. Herb Williams, though, keeps knocking him down. He's got 12 as the Mavericks crawl back to within 8. Porter weaving through the defense, runs into his own man, but they called Derek Harper for a foul.
Mavericks can thank their lucky stars for Herb Williams. Let's see right here. I guess I don't know that any Maverick fouled him, but the whistle blew, and that's the way it's going to stand.
Boy, I tell you what, you talk about a luxury. You can take out a Cliff Robinson and put in a Jerome Kersey, who's the leading scorer in the game with 13.
That's why they finished the season tied for the second best record in the NBA.
Drexler. Shot just will not drop for Clyde Drexler, and Derek Harper has the long rebound. Harper turns it over. 3:10 to go. Dallas down by 8 in the 4 mistake. And now Kersey and Harper exchange unpleasantries. As Harper disgusted with himself, I'm sure. Fast break points on the night. 20-2. In favor of Portland.
Say that again.
Fast break points are 20-2.
I heard it the first time. I wanted to make sure everybody at home heard it.
We saw the turnover picture. It's about even. Kersey inside, not this time, but tipped it back in. 15-point first half for Jerome Kersey. And once again, the hustle points are all going the Trailblazers' way.
Yeah, they are. That's where you notice it the most on the offensive board. That is the biggest indication of a team being out-hustled. Done it all year long.
Late call, but it goes against Clyde Drexler, his second, team's 4th. Blazers will...
Portland Trailblazers leading 52-42 that game late in the second quarter. Buck Williams, we mentioned earlier, did get a cut above and below his eye, an elbow by James Donaldson. He's not returned, but we understand he will be back for the third quarter. Right now, Clyde Drexler and Jerome Kersey running up and down that floor at will.
Well, they definitely are. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the league. They're so quick to the ball, especially coming from the weak side. And basically what's happening now with Dallas, they're shooting that ball from outside, and it's not going in, and that ball's bouncing long, and that plays right into Portland's hands. They get out, get on the wings, and they throw it up in the air, and they throw it down.
Well, don't go away. Got a lot of games to talk about before this night is over. But now let's go back to the second half. Chicago, Milwaukee. Bob Neal and Rick Barry. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Craig and Bernie. Nice job on updating us all the NBA playoff action tonight. Here, Chicago leads it by 2, and it has been the story of the backcourts for both teams and what you might call a turnover turnaround in this ballgame.
Yeah, it really has been a very, I think, well-played ball game on the part of both teams. I think the Milwaukee Bucks have to feel real good. Look what they've done. They've gotten 32 points out of the backcourt plus 13 assists. Of course, Michael Jordan has 25 of those 40 points for the Bulls, but he also helped Paxson on his way to 15 in the first half, and they had 40 of the 60 points that the Bulls have been able to score. But down the other end, it was Alvin Robertson getting plays like this where he's able to get right inside to the basket. The majority of his points coming inside as he went on his way to 24 points in the first half. But look at the front court, Bob. Big difference than in the first 2 ball games. Milwaukee with the advantage 21-12. And also, you can credit a great deal of Milwaukee's success tonight. Only 5 turnovers. They'd averaged 21 a game in the first 2 ball games. Done a much better job. However, they have given up 8 points off of those 5 turnovers. Chicago only 5 turnovers, and Milwaukee's only gotten 4 points. So that 4-point difference in converting turnovers right now has given the Chicago Bulls a 2-point edge. But still, anybody's ball game. The Bucks have to feel very good about what they've been able to accomplish. And again, it seems like playing the up-tempo for them so far tonight has worked well for them, trying to get down the court, get some easy opportunities, because then they don't have to face the Bulls' pressure, which has been causing problems for them.
Chicago inbounding ball. Just 2 other notes. Grant and Cartwright have only 1 field goal between them as you take a look at the scoring leaders for Chicago. And the Milwaukee bench, which has been playing so well, Pierce and Anderson are only 1 of 7. Anderson hasn't scored from the floor yet. Pippen missing. Cartwright tipping.
Should be goaltending, I think, because Lohaus went up inside the basket.
What they called count the basket.
Dell's complaining, but I think Lohaus went right up in the basket. Mike Dunleavy, assistant coach, in the back. Now watch Lohaus under the basket. There he is. He's going to go straight up. Right. See, he's inside. He went inside the rim and touched the ball, prevented it from coming in. That was a good call by Joe Crawford.
Tough play outside the net, inside the rim. That was a good move on his part. Pressey from 17. Rebound Robertson. He's fouled. Doesn't get the stick back, but will go to the line. So Robertson sneaked inside once again. He has been the man tonight for Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, he had 5 rebounds in the first half, 2 assists, 10 of 14 shooting.
but also pesky defensively. He's got a good look at Scottie Pippen.
Pippen with 10 points, had 5 rebounds in the first half. And Robertson now with 25. 6. 2-point Chicago lead. Bob Neal, Rick Barry with you from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. San Antonio at Denver. Game 2 coming up next. Kip Carey and Kevin Lockery have that one. Carey and Lockery together. I don't know. That could be illegal. For 3, Michael Jordan. 28.
Well, Michael had missed 3 previous three-point tries and felt the percentages were in his favor.
Looking for Robertson down low. Tough power move inside by Pressey. He drew the foul. I talk about the three-pointers. Chicago had attempted 7. Now has attempted 7 three-pointers and hit only 1. Not exactly the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Well, you notice, though, Bob, what the Milwaukee Bucks have been trying to do here just even early in the third quarter. They've attempted to try to get themselves to going inside. If you remember, where they fell into difficulty was in the second period when they started to go for the outside shots without really making the effort to get it inside. And I'm sure Dell was talking to the ball club about that they've got to go ahead and try to get in and go to the basket. The problem is that they really don't have really great post-up players.
I guess Anderson would be the closest one to it, really,
for a
because
big guy, yeah.
Lohaus, Sigma, Roberts, none of those are real post-up players. Pierce and Robertson get as much post-up play as their big men. Jordan against Robertson draws the double team of Lohaus, finds Cartwright, who gets bumped by Roberts and misses the shot. Lohaus tries a 3. Pressey corrals the rebound. Sigma inside to Roberts, but Roberts pushed Cartwright all the way out to the top of the key and picked up the foul. For Roberts, that's number 2.
Offensive foul at 31.
He couldn't have pushed Cartwright that far. Bill did a nice job making it very clear what had happened. Chicago by 3. Jordan from the corner. That was a 3-point attempt. Chicago now 1 of 8 from that range. Robertson will take it inside. Jordan, I thought, did a great job stepping up to take the charge.
Well, he did a great job of stepping up to take it. That's right. And that's exactly what he did. He moved when the man makes a move to the other side. Now watch, as you see how he moves, moved the right leg, and he actually moved into the man committed. That was a good call by the officials.
Excellent call.
Here's another view of it. Now watch Michael lean to his left. See how he moved as the man was already committed? That's a good call.
Roberts powers it inside. Fred Roberts, with an explosive move to the basket, has 14 points in this ball game. 5 out of 7. He won't miss many of those. Lohaus stepped in front of Grant to pick it off. Milwaukee a chance to take the lead. Sigma for 3. Went over the top of the basket. It'll belong to Chicago.
See, other than kicking it out for those couple of 3-point opportunities, it looks like the Bucks are really intent on trying to get into the basket on some penetration moves.
There's that 3-point story for you. Remember, Jay Humphries out of this ball game. For Milwaukee, Pippen nowhere to go inside. Pressing with a no-look pass to Robertson, who had to draw the foul from Paxson, and that's 4 on John. Nice no-look pass inside to send the Bucks to the line. And by the way, with 8:48 to go in the quarter, Chicago has committed 4 team fouls already.
Well, see, that's because they're going to the basketball. Now watch this look away. As you said, that's a terrific little flip pass. He saw the man going. The bounce pass killed him. If he didn't take that, I mean, the bounce killed him. If Robertson had gone straight up, he had a layup. Paxson couldn't have got there in time.
Phil Jackson knows this is a good time to regroup as Chicago's in the process of losing their lead with 8:48 to go in the third quarter from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee.
Playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Jeep and Eagle, the official vehicles of the NBA, and by Royal Caribbean. A Royal Caribbean cruise is lots of different vacations in one. Royal Caribbean, it's all here.
Along with Rick Barry, Bob Neal with you from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's tied at 65, 8:48 to go in the third quarter. This program, authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the NBA is prohibited. And now tonight's Wendy's scoreboard. A lot of NBA playoff action happening. We'll keep you posted. Cleveland laying a tremendous beating on Philadelphia. After seeing them Sunday night in Philadelphia, I don't understand how that has happened. I'm sure Craig will keep you posted on it after the game. Houston and LA in a close one, a 4-point lead by the Rockets. And Portland comfortably in front of Dallas in the second quarter. I'm sure Portland doesn't think it's so comfortable. Here comes Pressey. He's fouled by Paxson in the backcourt. It'll be a two-shot foul. And that's 5 on Paxson. I understand that Craig Elo has dropped a quarter, as they would say, on Philadelphia. It's 25 points. Dropped a quarter.
Dropped a quarter. Okay, that. But, you know, it doesn't matter whether you win by 1 or by 50. It's only one win. You still have to pull another one off on Thursday.
Ed Neely checking in here for Chicago as Paxson with 5 fouls sits down, and the Bucks have regained the lead.
Now the matchup with Scotty moving to the backcourt along with Michael Jordan. Michael going to the point guard slot, something that he did a great deal of a few seasons ago.
Pressey gets them both, and it's a 3-point Milwaukee lead. The Bucks have scored 8 straight points to take this 3-point lead. Jordan possessed on this one. Kicks it out to Pippen.
I'll tell you what, they got to break that time. There's a foul called. Horace Grant was toasting marshmallows in the middle. He never left the paint.
That's toasting marshmallows is better than dropping a quarter.
Well, I figure if you're going to come up with something bizarre like that, I'll come up with something silly. And now Pierce, who only had 4 points in the first half, and they need Ricky to give his usual outstanding performance off the bench if they're going to pull this one out tonight.
Pierce only had 3 shots and played only 9 minutes in the first half, too, which is very unlike him. At halftime, 15-point lead by Portland. Pierce is now 1 for 4 from the floor. Pippen misses. Jordan, it'll belong to Milwaukee, leading it by 2.
You know, watching Ricky Pierce shoot the ball, I mean, he's an outstanding shooter, no question about it, but he still does shoot the ball the way I think it's difficult. You really got to perfect it. He gets it up in his fingertips holding the ball, and you really have to have some outstanding touch to do that and do it effectively.
Sigma draws 3 players, dishes to Pierce. Now to Pressey. He gets the foul from Jordan. That's 2 on Michael Jordan. Check it, it's 3 on Michael Jordan.
But the penalty is what the big problem is here now for the Bulls. And because of the Bucks' persistency in going inside, they were able to get the Bulls in foul trouble. If they continue to go inside, which sometimes teams, when they get a team in trouble, tend sometimes to go to the outside and not continue to take advantage of that penalty opportunity. But the Bucks have been really intent on going inside. I mean, it seems obvious to me that this was part of their philosophy coming out in the third quarter.
B.J. Armstrong getting some playing time. He's had very little so far, the rookie. Gets into the ball game here for a few minutes. These teams basically playing with 7, at the most 8 players during the playoff series. Bucks by 4. The biggest Milwaukee lead was 6. They opened the game 6-0. Jordan to Cartwright on the screen and roll, and back to Jordan for the long-range bomb. This could be a problem. The bigger, more experienced Pressey will try to post up B.J. Armstrong.
Cartwright zoning.
Robertson with a lovely move inside, but he missed the layup. Pippen fouled by Sikma. That'll keep the ball from going in, but it'll give Sikma four fouls. Anderson will come in and get Sikma, no doubt.
And that's a problem for the Milwaukee Bucks, is that, as we pointed out in the first half, Anderson does not play as good a defense against Bill Cartwright.
Scottie Pippen has 11. Make it 12. Game 2 coming up right after this one. San Antonio at Denver. The Spurs hoping for a sweep.
I hope they got in there at the town with that big snowstorm back in Colorado. Got 16 inches on Sunday in the spring.
Tied at 70. 7:06 to go. Third quarter. This game's been tied 5 times. Pressey gets it inside for a relatively easy hoop. As you pointed out so effectively previously, when they get the trap, take it to the hoop.
Yeah, they didn't do that in the first half. They were intent on staying outside and shooting a jumper, and it really hurt them as they fell behind.
Anderson can play Cartwright out there. Cartwright at the high post now, setting the pick. 3 on the shot clock. Jordan's going to go for 3 in the face of Robertson. Doesn't get it. Lohaus has it partially blocked. Robertson picks it off anyway. Dishes it to Pierce.
The up-tempo game definitely working, I think, in the Bucks' favor here tonight. They're looking to get the ball up the court quickly, and they've got opportunities, and they haven't had to face the Chicago press and trap as often as a result.
Horace Grant has been the invisible man for the Bulls tonight. Only 2 points. Cartwright draws the foul. Cartwright has only 4 points. He hasn't been so visible himself. Anderson picks up the personal, his 3rd. So already 7 fouls between Anderson and Sikma.
Bill Cartwright shoots 2.
There's one reason this is such a close game and the Bucks have the lead. Look at the disparity in the free throw shooting.
Well, again, it's because of the work of the Bucks going to the basket. I mean, the majority of their offense has come going to the hole. They've only taken a few outside shots here in the third quarter. Remember, in every game they played this year, that's 5 regular season, 2 playoff games, the team that has won the third quarter has won the ball game.
The Bucks at the moment winning this one, but by only 2. And Cartwright and Grant have combined, counting those free throws, for only 8 points in this game. Pippen playing Robertson now. 10 on the shot clock for the Bucks. Robertson's going to try to spin it inside. Pippen stops it, got it to Pierce. Driving finger roll falls, and Ricky Pierce had only 4 points at the half, has now doubled it. But
that's a great pass by Scottie Pippen.
But then there's Jordan. Michael with 30. Pressey over B.J. Armstrong. And they're going to get a foul on Alvin Robertson. Oh, he doesn't like it as he appeals to Joe Crawford.
I tell you, Pressey was getting beat on by Armstrong. I'm surprised they're allowing Armstrong to do what he's doing defensively.
I know why. It's because of the unfair height advantage.
Maybe.
Cleveland gets a huge win over Philadelphia. Nance for 17, Price 15, and Elo 25. Grant got the ball inside. It was batted away by Lojas, but he commits the foul, and Lojas has 3.
Now all of a sudden the Bulls are returning the favor of trying to get themselves inside.
Well, the Bulls should win an inside matchup, that's for sure.
Well, you remember only, well, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes ago, it was 5-1 fouls. Now it's 5-5.
Horace Grant really struggling tonight, only 2 points in the contest at 19 in game 2. The Bucks by 1. Pierce powers it into the paint. It's blocked by Grant. Here comes Jordan. Brought out the oohs and ahs.
He had to duck his head. I'm serious.
And Chicago regains the lead. That's worth the price of admission. Which for me was free, but it was still nice to see. Punched away by Pippen and saved by Pippen to Cartwright, who fumbles it out of bounds. No, they say it's off Milwaukee. They're changing the call. Official.
Let's watch this block now on the part of Horace Grant. He has the size advantage. Good timing to knock it away. And here comes Michael. Now watch, he's going to have to duck his head. At least it looked like to me, so he doesn't hit the board. Here he ducks it. See? He had to duck his head. He would have hit the backboard.
What do you think of that for the slam dunk contest next year? Dangerous, but effective. Anderson gets his first field goal of the night. Bucks by 1. Pace has definitely picked up. Cartwright powers it inside. They got Anderson with a push unless Pierce fouled him first. On Pierce, he got him before the push.
But you notice how easy Bill was able to make his move offensively. And he never was able to do that with Sigma in the ballgame.
Sigma sitting down right now with 4 personal fouls. Pierce has only 1. And Mr. Bill, there's Sigma with his 4 fouls.
See him putting the packer on his back. He's going to get the back problem, the rotor cuff problem. Jack, a tough guy. He always, he'll go out and play and give you everything he's got, but he's just not 100% physically, unfortunately, for the Bucks.
Cartwright, Pippen, Grant, B.J. Armstrong, and Jordan. And Grant has come in here in relief of Paxson, who's in foul trouble, with 5, and played good defense. I thought Cressy would be able to post him down there and get some points on him, but hasn't happened so far. Trying it again. Cressy into the paint. Scoop. Misses, but Robertson gets it in the air and jams it in. He has 30 points. Jordan has 32 and 8 on the shot clock. The penetration, kicks it to Grant. Can't hold it. Grant was in there for an hour. They call the foul on Milwaukee.
Grant used what was called as a muscle move and tried to jump back into his man, who was Anderson. That's why Anderson's upset, because he felt he had made the block and the contact initiated by Grant.
4 personals on Anderson, along with 4 on Sigma.
I actually tried that muscle move. I didn't have any muscles, though. It didn't work real well.
As Grant does, for sure. Grant breaking into the scoring column now from the free throw line. Punched away and saved by Pippen. He'll think about the 3. Bucks by 1. Pippen's thinking about all the way this time. His lay-in doesn't go. Anderson to Robertson. Cressy for a triple. Jordan to B.J. Armstrong from the corner. Rookie misses, ahead to Pierce. Fouled hard by Pippen. That'll be a 2-shot foul. And we have a timeout on the floor with 2:30 to go in the third quarter, and the Bucks leading it by 1. Milwaukee leading it by 1 point with 2:30 to go in the third quarter. Following this game, we'll have our next game tonight, but we also have a doubleheader tomorrow night. Boston will be at New York at Madison Square Garden, and in game 2 it'll be Utah at Phoenix. That series at 1 game apiece, thanks to the man in the middle there, Kevin Johnson, who came off the sick list to just perform brilliantly for the Phoenix Suns. Portland leading Dallas by 15 at the half. Houston with a 4-point lead at the half over L.A. Detroit up by 9 at the half over Indiana. And Cleveland clobbered Philadelphia by 27. My, oh my. And here a 1-point game, really the closest one of the night. Stacey King checks into the ball game for the Milwaukee Bucks as Pierce is at the free throw line. Stacey King in the first half played 7 minutes, had 4 points.
And Paul Pressey going the route so far.
82-79 Milwaukee.
Pressey headed for a 48-minute performance tonight. Michael Jordan from 14, and the tip in from Horace Grant, who, thanks to getting to the free throw line, that's his first field goal of the night, is now climbing back in here in terms of scoring contribution. Has 6. He had 2 at the half. Pippen almost had that steal.
2 minutes in the third.
Chicago can take the lead on this possession. B.J. Armstrong buying time for John Paxson, the Chicago point guard, who has 5 fouls. Five on the shot clock. Jordan fakes Pierce into the seats and hits the 18-footer, and Michael Jordan has 34. Chicago has the lead again. On the shot clock for Milwaukee. Nice pass to Fred Roberts on the cut from the weak side on the baseline.
Got his defender turning his head and beat him to the basket.
Roberts has 16, and the Bucks regain the lead. 10 lead changes in this game. 10 on the shot clock for the Bulls. Now 4. Now 3. They're not going to get it off. Good defense by Milwaukee. Less than a minute to go in the third quarter. As you've pointed out, the team that wins the third quarter in this series has won the games between these two teams, and Milwaukee on their way to possibly winning this quarter. Milwaukee with only 6 turnovers all night.
Good move by Pierce. He got Jordan coming out at him and was able to blow by him, just like Michael was able to do the same thing to Pierce down the other end. And drew the foul on King. Watch the move again. You're going to see Michael come running out. Gives a little fake. See, Michael's going forward. Couldn't stop in time. Got that half step. And then coming over to help out, King commits the foul.
Ricky Pierce, the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award winner, with 11 points in this ball game tonight. He averaged 23 this season. Has averaged 25.5 during the 2-game playoff series. And the Bucks go up by 3. Half a minute to go, third quarter. Jordan tried to pass. It was stolen. Here comes Pierce and has Robertson. Ricky Pierce gives the Bucks a 5-point lead. Milwaukee's outscored Chicago by 7 in this period. 10 over Roberts. Alvin Robertson flying hard to the hoop, draws the foul.
Look at Phil Jackson looking at the official in total disbelief.
He gave the foul to Stacey King, his second.
But I think that was a very smart play on the part of Alvin Robertson, not running to just take the pull-up. He saw that he had a chance to perhaps get to the basket and force the foul. A chance for the Bucks to get that lead back up to 5 as it goes back to 4 right now.
31 points for Alvin Robertson in this ball game. He's just had a whale of a game, scoring mostly inside and on drives like that to the basket. Now 32 with 1.1 seconds. Pippen will just throw up the prayer. It won't count even if it went in. And the Bucks have won the period, 90-85, 12 minutes of basketball remaining. They're on their feet at the Bradley Center. Milwaukee scored 32 points in the quarter. With Rick Barry, it's Bob Meehl from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Milwaukee outscored Chicago by 7 points in the period, and it was the Milwaukee guards who did the damage. Pierce, Pressey, and Alvin Robertson, and a 5-point lead going into the fourth.
Yeah, and I think the up-tempo helped them. There's the third quarter factor we talked about. You can see that the team that won the third quarter in every game, regular season and playoffs, has eventually won the ball game.
Sigma back into the ball game now. It's Sigma, Roberts, Robertson, Pierce, and Pressey for Milwaukee.
Offensive foul call on Jack Sigma, his 5th.
Big call there. Joe Crawford made the call, and that will hurt Milwaukee. It's his defense when Cartwright's in there. It really makes a difference. Cartwright not in there right now. Sigma's playing Stacey King, and he's flirting with a technical as he continues railing at Joe Crawford.
Yeah, Joe's not the guy you want to talk to.
Exactly.
Got the short fuse.
Anderson's going to get back in here for Milwaukee, so Sigma's going to have a very short time in here. They know he has the 5, so they give it back to King, who goes to Jordan, who hits from the baseline. 38 points for Michael Jordan.
Now that up-tempo worked very well for the Bucks in the third quarter. Let's see if they're going to continue to try and play that way, which got them the lead, or if they go back to the slowdown.
Pressey down low, doesn't get the follow, but he did draw the foul, and it's on B.J. Armstrong. And here comes Greg Anderson as Sigma with his 5 personals will have to sit down.
But I tell you, it's really tough too when you got to go in and out when you've got a back problem, because you finally get loose, you get out there, you try to get it warm, all of a sudden you have to go sit down again.
Paxson back in for Chicago also in place of B.J. Armstrong.
I guess in this case for Jack, he never did get it warm. He wasn't in long enough.
Portland leading Dallas. That third quarter just underway. Houston 5-point lead over the Lakers. Detroit leading Indiana at Indianapolis.
Final score, Cleveland 122, Philadelphia 95.
Bucks by 4, 11 minutes remaining here at the Bradley Center. Jordan inside against Robertson. That turnaround shot is unstoppable. And unbelievable sometimes.
He's just, words are difficult to describe Michael Jordan.
How about 40 points with 11 minutes left? Anderson missing from in close again, and Anderson's had a real nightmare trying to score tonight. He'd been averaging nearly 14 a game in this playoff series. 1 out of 6 from the floor. Now Chicago within 2. Into Stacey King. Has to go to his right hand. It got partially blocked by Anderson. King battles back and stuffs it in. Big time power move by Stacey King.
And all of a sudden this game is tied again as the Bulls have come out and exerted themselves here early in the fourth quarter.
Bucks have scored only 1 point. It was 90-85 at the end of 3. Milwaukee turnover. Robertson thought he had a foul.
I'll tell you, that was the official over here closest to us, and I won't even mention his name, was getting ready to show that the ball was ticked, and he didn't do it after he saw the other officials say that it wasn't.
So a 2-1 decision gives it to Chicago.
Now, Joe Crawford didn't say anything. He didn't know.
Jordan from 19. 42 points for Michael Jordan. He is in his last 5. Uh-oh. Del Harris knows that. He's going to get a timeout as soon as Robertson gets across the timeline. Michael Jordan heating up, and that's bad news for the Bucks. Nine and a half minutes remaining in the ball game from the Bradley Center. The Bulls have taken the lead by 2, and it's time for the Minute Maid Minute. We'll get to that in just a moment. Jordan started slowly from the field tonight. At one time he was 5 out of 14, but he's now 17 of 31 and has this year's playoff high of 42 points.
That might be it, unless it's Grant. They call on Grant. Foul from the front, not Paxson. There's the Minute Maid Minute. The Bucks doing a job on the inside scoring there against the Bulls.
Pressey inside. That was blocked by Grant. Roberts goes back with it over Jordan. Rebound Anderson, who couldn't hold it. Grant. The Bulls by 2. 9 minutes to go in this ball game. On the shot clock for Chicago. Robertson in the jersey of Jordan. 3 on the shot clock. 2, 1. Pippen from long range. It will count. It's a 2. Chicago by 4. They've outscored the Bucks 10-1 since this period started. Roberts driving to the basket and going to the left hand. Has his 18th point of the ball game. Chicago already with 2 team fouls. The Bucks have committed none with 8:13 to go in the fourth and final quarter. Pippen against Pierce.
Tough matchup right there. See Ricky Pierce not able to really defend Scottie Pippen.
Pippen has 17. He needs 1 rebound, 1 assist to have his second triple-double of this series. Robertson shoots over Pippen. He went flat-footed on him for a moment. Grant back to Jordan to Grant. Inside with a little jump hook. You wonder if Michael wasn't thinking, I need to get Horace Grant involved in the scoring here late in the ballgame, because Jordan could have taken that one. Chicago on a 12-2 run since the quarter started. Pippen with the personal foul. That'll give him 4.
Well, right now, Bob, the Bucks struggle a little bit. They just might be running out of gas here. I mean, you've got Pressey, who's played the entire ball game. They've had some foul difficulties. Sikma comes back in now, who's be playing with 5 personal fouls, and Lohaus coming in for Roberts, but they put a game effort for it, but they just have had all their troops ready, and they played an up-tempo game, which they're not accustomed to, and that can wear you out.
Bucks were plagued by injuries all year, and the injury to Jay Humphries has hurt him here tonight. B.J. Armstrong came in and really ran Pressey to tire him even further. Lohaus goes for the 3, doesn't get it. Pressey with the rebound, but they called him for a loose ball foul. Paxson went to the floor. No, check that. Nothing.
Pressey just hit it out of bounds. But see, Lohaus just walked off the bench, took a 3-point shot. Wow, that's tough to do. It's easy to take the shot, but it's tough to be warm enough to make it.
Shot clock to 8. Robertson played back on Jordan, so Michael just took it to the perimeter. He has 44 points tonight and has hit his last 6. Pierce for 3. Answers for Milwaukee, and that's only the 2nd field goal of this quarter for the Bucks. Chicago 101-96. Seven on the shot clock. Pippen has Sigma to deal with. Sigma with his 5 fouls. Took it out of the air. Nice play by Sigma. Ahead to Robertson, who'll get the jam. It's Chicago by 3. And Robertson has 34, and that ties his playoff career high. 6:08 remaining in this game. Timeout, Chicago. So the good news for Portland is they have the lead. The bad news, their leader, a man who's been such a major part of their terrific year. We hope Buck Williams will be okay. At the Bradley Center, Chicago by 3 with 6:08 remaining.
And a nice run here by the Bucks to get themselves right back in it. They could have easily lost any chance to win this ball game, but the big 3-pointer by Pierce, and then to follow it up 2 points, and now they've got a great shot at it. You know, just as Michael Jordan is invaluable to the Bulls, Marty Aronoff, our stat guy here, has no peers. He's invaluable to us. Great job tonight, Marty.
As usual, we just count on it. We take it for granted, like Jordan takes that jumper for granted. And Jordan has 46. He's hit his last 7, and I think the tired guards may have something to do with that.
Yeah, plus, Michael likes to come on in the 4th quarter. That's Michael's time.
Pierce also comes on strong in the 4th quarter. After a slow start, Pierce now has 19. It's a 3-point Chicago game. It's a beauty here tonight at the Bradley Center. The proud Milwaukee Bucks trying to avoid a sweep.
Yeah, they're getting tired of having to do that proud stuff.
No kidding. Give me win, don't give me proud. Right? Pippen finds a small opening, penetrates, gets it to King, who missed the layup. Robertson taking it inside against the bigger Stacey King. Gets the bucket anyway. Beautiful play by Robertson with the double clutch. And that's his playoff high.
You have to admire the character of this Milwaukee Buck team, Bob.
Robertson has 36. Chicago by 1. Pippen, 17, is fouled on the shot by Ricky Pierce.
Yeah, Ricky knew it too. He caught him on the forearm as he went by. Not the kind of foul you want to make in this situation. Yeah, the guy has to earn it from out there. You don't want to put him at the line.
Look at that in this quarter. Chicago 82%.
Well, the one thing that's nice about it from the Bucks standpoint is that you have to figure they're not going to stay at that percentage. So if you hang in there and stay tough, they're going to start missing a few shots.
Horace Grant back in has only 8 points in this basketball game as Stacey King sits down to take a rest. King has only 6 also. So the front line of Chicago not as dominant in this game as they had been in games 1 and 2. Pippen's the only one who's been productive offensively. He has 19. Pressey, the 48-minute man apparently tonight. Here's Pierce. Jordan blocks it. Jordan passes it to Grant inside. Lohaus with a rebound. Ahead to Pierce if he can catch it. He can't.
You see, that's the inexperience of a player like Lohaus. Pierce really wasn't ahead of the entire defense of the Bulls. There was no reason in the world, once you saw that situation in front of you, to even throw that pass. Had he even caught the ball, he wouldn't have had a chance to go to the basket with it.
Potential 4-point turnover there. It's Sigma, Lohaus, Robertson, Roberts, and Pressey as Pierce goes to the bench. A big Milwaukee lineup in there.
Michael caught Cartwright unaware. He got the double, gave the ball up. Bill wasn't ready for it.
Roberts hard to the hoop. We'll go to the line.
You notice that the Bucks have picked up the tempo again here. When they came out in that 4th period, Bob, they didn't seem to be playing with the same kind of aggressiveness and the same kind of up-tempo that got them the lead, which has worked so well for them in this ballgame. They kind of fell back to the old slowdown style. The Bulls jumped all over them with it. Now that they've picked up the tempo again, they've gotten themselves right back into the ballgame. Tonight, the up-tempo is working better for the Bucks.
most effective front court player for Chicago now has 5 personal fouls. Scottie Pippen on that play. Fred Roberts with 19 points, 4 rebounds, hasn't missed from the free throw line thus far tonight. Of course he would on that one. We know the story of that. Chicago by 2. 3:38 remaining. Time in the lower right of your screen. Jordan posted against Robertson with a 1-touch pass. Grant to Pippen from 17.
Yeah, he got into that 17, 16-foot area where he just, you see how he short-armed it? When he's out there further, he takes a nice fluid motion. When he gets up there in closer, he kind of short arms the ball, like tries to aim it instead of shooting it.
Reminds me of you hitting a 70-yard wedge. No comment on that. Sigma to Robertson. Jordan stepped in there to break up that shot attempt. Lohaus hard to the hoop, though, and it's tied at 105.
Now the scary part about this is that the Bulls have Michael Jordan.
Who's now isolated on Lohaus, and Roberts steps up there. Jordan's going anyway, goes to the left hand. Unbelievable. 48 for Jordan. Hasn't missed this quarter. He's 6 out of 6 from the floor.
Somebody's got to go to the ball.
7 on the shot clock. Pressey with the triple team. Robertson tries the 15-footer. He had to shoot it with Jordan in his face, but it remains tied at 107. And Robertson, once again, a great performance by an opponent, overshadowed by Jordan. Robertson has 38.
He's played great, 14 for 21 from the field. But, you know, Michael's 6 for 6 percentage is working against him a little bit here. You figure he may have to miss a shot sooner or later.
He lost the handle on that dribble and lost the ball. Lohaus with a jam. And the Bucks have a 2-point lead with 1:56 remaining in their season, unless they can hold on to this lead. A 20-second timeout called by Chicago.
Now they're saying no, full timeout.
Pippen said we wanted a 20, but Joe Crawford has already called the full, so it's a complete timeout. There's Jordan, who just lost the handle on the ball, and Lohaus stepped up there intelligently, got it, takes it all the way in for the basket, and the Bucks have the 2-point lead. Milwaukee by 2, the crowd on their feet at the Bradley Center. Chicago with a 2-0 lead, and the Bucks fighting for their playoff life. Paxson off the baseline screen. Misses his jumper. Roberts rebound.
Foul in the backcourt.
Jordan.
See about the shooting percentage again. If you're going to go to the outside, the chances are when you're shooting that good, eventually it's going to catch up to you. You just don't see teams shooting 80-something% normally for a quarter. And a very big miss, although they made a good play there to get the open shot. As Portland, well, Dallas has closed in on Portland a little bit with Buck Williams out.
Buck Williams taken to a hospital for observation. The Lakers have regained the lead, or gained the lead, I should say. There's a final. But the Lakers now leading Houston by 2, as you saw. Roberts, 6 out of 7 from the line, has 20 points tonight. He's played big.
The next possession for the Bulls is critical for the Bucks as far as the defense goes. If they're able to stop Chicago, make them use up some time on the clock, and if Roberts makes this with the 11-point lead, they'll be in terrific position to win this basketball game. But they've got to come up with a big defensive effort, certainly on this possession. Just a couple of good defensive efforts is what they need.
Pressey went for the steal, committed the foul. That'll be his 4th.
Well, that doesn't help because they didn't use much time off the clock. Pippen gets a chance to go to the line, get a couple of points back off of that deficit, off of the lead that they're facing, the deficit they're facing, and that plays into the hands of the, well, no, it wasn't the penalty. I thought they were in the penalty, Bob.
That's right. Just that was only the 4th. Chicago in the penalty. So that was their foul to give. Jordan down to the baseline, misses the turnaround. Grant with a big rebound. Chicago losing a little poise. Now they'll get it out here to Pippen. Set it up again. 5 on the shot clock. Pippen hard to the hoop. hits the lay-in. A big bucket by Scottie Pippen, who has 21.
Bad help defensively on the weak side of the court as they weren't able to get over and shut the lane off. Guys shouldn't be able to drive from that far out to the basket.
Bucks by 2, minute 12 to go. Major defensive set here for the Bulls, hoping for a sweep. Jordan punches it away. Into Roberts for the jam over Cartwright. Bucks by 4, 1 minute to go. Timeout, Chicago. The Milwaukee Bucks looked as though they were going to fade when Jordan came out to begin the fourth quarter on fire, but they've come back in a 20-second timeout by Chicago.
Well, you're going to see Fred Roberts come up over to help out. That left Roberts open, and he did the smart thing, Bob. When his man turned and went, he went to the basket. It's up to your teammate to find you, and teammate did. A very happy Roberts.
This is his 61st playoff game, an experienced veteran of the playoffs, particularly the Boston Celtics, of course.
Well, again, the Bucks facing the same situation now. A good defensive effort right here. A chance then for them to eat up time on the clock.
Now the Bucks showing some pressure on Chicago. Alvin Robertson playing Jordan. Jordan finding Grant for the jam.
The reverse, same thing happened. The other man came over. That time Grant went to the basket. Turnabout, fair play.
45 seconds to go. What a beauty we have at the Bradley Center. Paxson with a near steal. Robertson has 38 on the night. He's been quiet in the last few minutes of the game, but he was big all the rest of the game. Now 7 on the shot clock for Milwaukee. Sikma for 3. Listen to the crowd at the Bradley Center as Sikma hits the triple. The Bucks go up by 5. Timeout, Chicago, with 25.9 seconds remaining. With 25.9 remaining. Right after this game, we'll go to Craig Sager, who will update you on all the playoff action tonight, and then to Denver, Colorado, where Skip Carey and Kevin Lockery have the San Antonio Spurs and the Denver Nuggets.
There's Jack Sikma. That's his first points, I think, of the second half, Bob. Drills into three-pointer, and of course, the biggest shot of the game so far. Now, Milwaukee must try to force Chicago to use as much time of the clock. They can't let them get that ball in there and just get an easy 2 points or an easy 3-point shot. Hopefully, they'll put some defensive pressure on, make them use some time on the clock. Then the Bucks don't have to shoot the ball, and they'll put the ball in the hands of their best free throw shooters, forcing the Bulls to have to foul.
25.9 remaining. 5-point lead by the Bucks. Jordan is going to take it over to the corner to Paxson. He misses from long range. Paxson fouls out of the ball game by bumping Pressey with 18.9 seconds. Pressey will have 2 free throws and for all practical purposes ice this game, and the Milwaukee Bucks will stay alive.
Bob, I tell you, you see that's Del Harris's wife with his newborn son, and very happy Jay Humphries. It'll take a minor miracle to win the game now for the Bulls, but it really, I think, is incredible that in 8 games this year, 5 regular season, 3 playoffs, the old third quarter has held up again.
And it didn't look like it was gonna.
No, it sure didn't. Not at the start of the fourth, it didn't.
Chicago went.
But again, the Bucks made an adjustment, Bob. They came out and they played slow-down ball early. That killed them because the up-tempo game worked for them tonight. When they went back to the up-tempo game, they regained the lead and now on the verge of staying alive here in the playoffs with their first win.
It's been the 3 guards, Pierce, Pressey, and Robertson, but also Fred Roberts played big with 23. 7-point lead. Pippen for 3. Grant had the rebound with 10 seconds left, and that was Pressey's 5th foul. DJ Armstrong coming in here for Chicago.
It'll be interesting to see what the Bucks do in game number 4. If Dell decides to go with the up-tempo game again, it's kind of like playing with a double-edged sword there because you play that kind of game and you can get Michael in the open court situation. Of course, he responded with a big game. He got 48 points.
along with 9 rebounds. But the big factor was the job the inside guys did. They didn't let Chicago kill him inside. They did a great job on Cartwright and Grant.
Grant has only 10 points in this basketball game. Cartwright has been practically a non-factor with only 7 points in the game. So the front line of Chicago, which had been really pounding Milwaukee, has not performed tonight, with the exception of Pippen, who's only a rebound and an assist away from a triple-double again. 5 seconds. And the foul by B.J. Armstrong with 3 left. But this is a 6-point game. Milwaukee Bucks are going to stay alive and force a 4th game here at the Bradley Center on Thursday.
Yeah, and I want to really compliment you on your fine planning, Bob, since you decided that we probably wouldn't be here for a Thursday night game, which we very well may be, and you have a room at the hotel in Chicago. That's very good.
I'm in Chicago for the Milwaukee game. Yes, that's right. It's like overcoaching. It's over travel planning. San Antonio, Denver next. Skip Carey, Kevin Lockery. That game's at Denver. Skip staying in L.A.
Of course, we might not be here, though.
That's right.
May be good. We have to watch and see what's happening in the other ball games.
We'll, of course, continue to cover the playoffs, but we'll bring you the game that our considered judgment will be the most important and best game for you on Thursday night. That's it. The Bucks, 119 to 112 over Chicago. Del Harris and his staff. You saw Mike Dunleavy and Matt Calvin. Frank Hamlin did a great job of preparing for the Chicago Bulls here tonight.